Okay, number one, let's find the inverse of f. So what is the inverse of f? Well, given f of x equals negative x squared plus 3. The first thing I would do is rewrite this as y equals negative x squared plus 3. And all the inverse means is that you switch x and y. So now this says x equals negative y squared plus 3. And then I proceed to solve. So when I say solve, I'm just trying to get y by itself. So first move, subtract 3. So x minus 3 equals negative y squared. This is a little bit of a tricky move here, but my next move that I'm going to do is I'm going to divide through by negative 1. So when I divide through, or multiply through by negative 1, that's just a fancy way of saying distribute negative 1 into both the numbers. So I'm left with negative x plus 3 equals y squared. And then from here, I need to get rid of that, so I just take the square root of both sides. So I end up getting the square root of negative x plus 3 is y. And that would be the answer here. Okay? Now, what's going on with this function? So what does this answer choice really mean? Well, the first thing that I would recommend doing is graphing the function and just graph it on the calculator and see what happens. So I graph the function here, and you're going to see that the function basically is just a curve going, sorry about that, a curve kind of just shooting off in this direction. Okay? So if I look back at the problem now, what happens is just essentially I have a curve shooting in this direction, and it starts at 3. And this should be of no surprise, because anytime that you have, down here, anytime you have this negative sign, that inside the function, that means the function goes to the opposite direction. So if you remember, and you should know this, the square root of x starts at 0, and it shoots off to the right, like so. Okay? So if you have a negative sign, that means it's going to shoot off in the other direction. This plus 3 value, what that indicates is that we're shifting the function, and in this case the function shifts to the right. Now, I do need to clarify something. So we have written the function as square root negative x plus 3. So y equals square root negative x plus 3. But the function, what it really should be to fit into the proper notation, we should really be writing it as a negative 1 times x minus 3. And so this negative 1 here indicates the direction shift from going like so to now going like so. Okay? Notice the minus 3. The minus 3, here remember whenever it's in the parentheses, it tends to mean that it's going in the opposite direction. So we have a horizontal shift to the right. So this is why you see this piece here really becomes now over here like so. Okay? So that's that part there. Alright. So what do we know about the domain? Well, if the function looks like this guy right here, that means this is not correct. It's going to be going from negative infinity to 3. And it does include 3, so you have to put a bracket, but infinity always is a parentheses. The range is the y value, so this is actually correct. It starts at 0, and then this guy gradually shoots up. Okay? And so we have it. Okay? That would be, I'm going to take that back. What I was talking about in both of these was the inverse. So that, I think, would be in relationship to C. The original function is negative x squared plus 3. So your domain actually, let me erase all of this. Your domain is actually correct. The domain of your function should be, let me clean this up a little bit. The domain of your function, if it's negative x squared plus 3, that just means it's upside down and it's shifted up 3. So it looks something like this. So, I'm sorry, I was not reading carefully. F is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. This is true of all quadratics, so you got that. And the range is going to be from 0 to infinity. This is not true, though, still. The range is from top to bottom. So this thing, bottom to top. So this thing keeps shooting down, so it's going to be negative infinity. And then the height here is at 3, because there was a vertical translation or vertical shift up 3. Now, it does include 3, so it would be a bracket. So it's going to be negative infinity to 3. And that would be that value. Okay? So hopefully that made sense. And let me know. And if I need to, I'll make another video. All right.